Thank you for joining us today on Eye on LWOP, Life Without the Possibility of Parole. I am your hostess, Misty Arteaga, and today we'll be going over the history of LWOP. So back in the 1970s, California was grappling with the legality and the morality of capital punishment. In 1972, the Supreme Court temporarily struck down the death penalty in People versus Anderson, ruling it unconstitutional and cruel and unusual punishment. This created a huge policy gap. There was suddenly no legal death penalty, and lawmakers sought a severe replacement sentence for the worst of the worst offenders. In 1977, California formally created LWOP. As part of the revised sentencing structure, at the time, it was presented and understood as a humane alternative to capital punishment. The idea was that someone convicted of first-degree murder with special circumstances could be sentenced to death as an LWOP, ensuring punishment without execution. Although the death penalty was reenacted just a year later in 1978, giving the prosecutors more sentencing options. But over time, LWOP stopped being used only in death-eligible cases. Legislation and ballot measures, especially in the 1990s, through Tough on Crime era, expanded LWOP to many crimes beyond capital murder. What began as a replacement for execution became a more common severe penalty in its own right. For the death penalty, a district attorney must specifically pursue the capital case, and a jury must unanimously agree to impose death after weighing aggravating and mitigating factors. For LWOPs, it's typically automatic once a special circumstance of murder conviction is entered without a death verdict. When first proposed and adopted, LWOP in California was explicitly created to replace or serve as an alternative to the death penalty, offering prosecutors a way to ensure lifelong confinement without execution. But over the decades, it's expanded far beyond the original purpose. It is now known as the other death penalty. LWOP and death penalty apply to nearly the same special circumstances, murders, but death requires an explicit jury decision to impose it. If death isn't sought or imposed, LWOP is